It's 8 p.m., 8 December, and we are in episode 8 of season 2 of the Waran Shanmugam show. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here yet again on a Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Today is yet another day where we have got a lot of stories to tell. We have got a lot of stories to share, to tell, to enlighten you because these people, our guests for tonight's show, are going to mesmerize you in different ways. I will show you why. But before that, remember this is the Goodbye 2021 series special edition. Yeah, why the special edition? Because it's the last month of the year 2021. It is going to go by. What's going to come? 2022 is there waiting for us, hoping that 2022 will be a fantastic year. Yeah. But let's see what else that we can do for this year. Hence, I started off with this special edition. So today, right, we have got this gentleman all the way from San Francisco. His name is Prince Victor. Now, Prince Victor is a data processing specialist. He's a retired data processing specialist. But this is what I told him. Once you are a data processing specialist, you are always a data processing specialist. The only thing that changes is, of course, the time frame, the way that you do things, and everything else. He was also the volunteer police officer in San Francisco, USA. So he is going to join us, and he will share some of the things that he have done in the past, and what is he doing now. So let's get Prince here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch this. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from San Diego, yeah, now?
Correct.
So tell us, why are you there in San Diego?
I have three sons, and one of my sons is here in San Diego. So this is a Thanksgiving season in the U.S. So we all get together and have a feast. So I came here to San Diego to spend some time with my three boys and my grandchildren. So
that's nice. That's nice. So this is somewhat an annual occasion. Every year you do the same thing?
yeah, this is an annual occasion. This is a kind of national celebration. There
I
is a
see.
history behind it. And when the first explorers came into the United States, they suffered a lot. They landed in Plymouth. Plymouth is, I think it's somewhere in North Carolina, one of the states there. And it was very heavy snow. And the pilgrims, when they came here, the explorers, they didn't have any food, nothing. It's a snowy, and the local, we call them and I think in our side of the world, we call them Red Indians.
Yes.
And the Red Indians, they brought some turkey and some potatoes and things like that to greet this suffering pilgrims. That is how it started. Thanksgiving.
I see, I see. So it was very much a Red Indian culture and then adopted by the Americans.
You're absolutely right.
That's nice. That's nice. So on a Thanksgiving, besides turkey, what's the normal stuff that you have on the table, on the dinner table?
A baked turkey, a whole turkey, they bake.
Nice. Uh-huh.
And then we'll have some sweet potato and corn on the cob.
Uh-huh.
This is the major food.
Nice. Nice. So do you exchange any gifts like Christmas, or just sitting down and having a good laugh about everything that's happening in life?
We just sit down and eat together around the table, and we laugh about everything, like you said. But the gift exchange, it takes place on and off. Sometimes I brought my boys some gifts, and
There you go.
Christmas is exactly 1 month from now. So 25th is a Christmas. Today is 24th here.
Yeah.
So 1 month. So
Nice. Nice.
I brought, because I don't come here very often, so I brought some Christmas gifts also, chocolates and things like that.
Yeah.
So I gave it to my grandchildren and my sons also.
Nice.
And
Nice.
the
That's what.
objective is, yeah, the objective is to make everybody happy. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice, Prince, what you're saying is very interesting because this is something that I think not only in the US, but if possible, every other country should adopt this, or every other family. Not only Thanksgiving, any one day of a particular year, right? Where you sit together with the family members, regardless of wherever you are around the globe, you come back to your origin, or any place, meet up, have a good laugh, talk about what's happening in life. It's always, that's the best support system one could have.
Correct, correct. I agree
Yeah.
to it.
Nice, nice. Prince, I also heard that, okay, two things that I heard. One, you are an IT specialist. Now, some claim that you are a retired IT specialist. I say that once you're an IT specialist, you're forever an IT specialist. So that's one. Second thing is, you were with the voluntary police force in San Francisco. I want to know more on both of these. Share with us the first one, you being an IT specialist.
Okay. Now, the IT keeps changing. Every month we are seeing new technology coming into existence. So if
Yeah.
when you say that I knew I was an IT specialist about 2 3 years ago, now I am already outdated if it is 2 years. Because every day we are seeing new technology coming into existence, and it is you have to be young to keep up with the technical upgrades. That is number one. Number
Yeah.
two, but I'm not saying that I don't know anything about it. I know a little bit, and but the younger generation, they know everything. So my oldest son is working for Google, and my second son, actually third son, who helped us now, he works for aerospace corporation. And these guys, they keep up their technical knowledge up to date. And number two, coming to the police force, yeah, when I retired, I started giving my support to the local police, and I became a voluntary police.
Mhm.
And when I became a volunteer police, that's when my the students from Chanwa, they came over. Well, actually, Maureen, my niece, she's a teacher in that school, and she came over. And when I took her to the police station, she made a contact with the police chief and made an agreement that she can bring the students for training purpose. And in return, we can, Malaysian school can accept students from here to train them in the police area. But it didn't, the second part didn't work because Malaysian government, I don't know what happened, but 3 years, Maureen brought a set of students from Chanwa school. But
Mhm.
the Chanwa students are very brilliant, very brilliant. The Malaysian police, these guys, when they do a push-ups, we do like this. But
Uh-huh.
they said, no, we don't do it that way. We do it on our knuckles.
Oh, nice.
And actually, our police department was very much surprised. And the drill, they showed the video of the drill of the students. And when they saw that, they were very, very surprised and very happy about it. They brought the right students to this country. So with 3 years, I think Maureen was the conduit for this program, and she brought students 3 times, 3 years, and the fourth year we had a big plan, but the pandemic came and nothing was going on in this
Yeah.
country as well as in Malaysia also. So that program was dropped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is,
Somewhat discontinued for a while, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, but it's interesting how you spoke about our Malaysian students. So the students, as we spoke backstage just now, these students are Chanhua students from Seremban, where they were from the cadet school cadet police force. Yeah, and Maureen was graciously good enough to actually plan this program, and of course, together with you, Prince, it could not have been a success without you, Prince. Yeah, whereby you actually prepared the accommodation readily available for them, and then you connected with the police force back then there in San Francisco, and eventually these boys, right, these young 17-year-old boys, when they went there, they were mesmerized with the amount of work that you guys do there. And like what you said, even the police force there was also very intrigued with the different types of trainings that our boys went through here, which was very nice. And that's an amazing thing that you did, even after you retiring from being a specialist in IT, and you ventured into the volunteerism part of police force. So I want to know, why did you choose police force, and how did you make that happen? I know there's a story to it. I would love to hear that story, Prince.
Yes, I actually, right from my childhood, I wanted to be in the forces like Navy, Army, things like that. Police was not in my mind at that time. But
More
after,
uniform body, yeah.
yeah, but after coming here, I one day I saw a police car going by, and it said volunteer police. Then when I saw that, what does it mean? So I went to the police station. I told them I want to join the volunteer police force. They said, "Oh, you look perfect fit. You have to go through a couple of tests." And I said, "Okay, I am willing to do anything." So they uh, asked me a bunch of questions. They asked me to go to a place, and they asked me a bunch of questions. And they said I had to go through a lie detective test. I said, "No problem." So I went through that, and they asked me about 10 questions about my personal life and all these things. And one of the questions was, have you ever beaten your wife? I said, no, no. So, and then another, have you ever robbed a bank? No. So all the 10 questions I answered correctly the way they wanted. And they said, okay, you look good. Now I am going to put you through the chain machine, so that I'm going to ask you only 3 questions. If you tell a lie, the light will go on. So they connected me to the machine, and they asked me 3 questions. I don't even remember the 3 questions they asked me. The light never went on. They thought the machine was wrong. And they reconnected me and asked the question. They said, well, maybe you are telling the truth. That's why the light is not going on. So they said, you are selected. So they told me, you can report tomorrow. You can report at Danville, my town, police department, and they will give you uniform and all. So you are ready to go. So the next day I went to the police station. I met the police chief, and I told him I am ready to serve. And they said, yeah, we already have the permission from the head of the department. So this is they sent me to another place to pick up my uniform and all this thing. I had a uniform, but they wouldn't give us the weapons to the civilians.
Okay.
I was still considered as a civilian.
Yeah.
But they gave me a key to the car. This
Ah,
is
nice.
this that is that gave me very enthusiastic. I made me very enthusiastic. So
Yeah.
I started. You have to go on a patrol with one other volunteer police, and you have to do it 3 days a week, and for 2 or 3 hours, you can go anywhere you want. Just drive around. See what most of the places, as soon as they see the police car, even the robbery will also they will stop
Yeah.
robbing. And so the visibility of the police department makes the town safe.
Yeah.
So I just drive around and enjoyed.
You
And
really enjoyed, I suppose. Yeah.
yep, and it was very good. And
Yeah.
after 4 years, within that 4 years, I brought the Chanwa students for 3 times,
Yeah.
and they also enjoyed. And whenever they came, the police department took us to many places. One is mortuary. They took us to the mortuary, and they explained what they do in mortuary with the body and all, but they didn't want to show us because the boys were all only underage. They were less younger than 18 years.
Yeah.
But they showed us the dog, the police dog. What does the police dog do? And then what to do in an accident. When an accident happens, what do you do? How do you measure the distance between the cars that collided, and all this kind of stuff? And then one important thing that I was very much interested was that there is a terrorist inside this building. How do you approach?
They did a
They,
simulation.
yeah, they gave a gun to all these Chanwa students. The gun can fire, tap tap tap, but it doesn't have a bullet.
Yeah.
So the boys really enjoyed it. You cannot just open the door and go in. You have to go. Before that, you have to do some assessment. What if the terrorist is inside this room? How is he going to handle the police? So they theoretically gave us some points, and then they let them go. Individually, I think at that time there were four or six students came, and they really enjoyed, pointing the gun at, are you
Nice.
armed? Are you unarmed? All these questions. The students, they enjoyed it.
I'm
And
sure. I'm
so,
sure they have enjoyed it. Yeah.
yeah, they gave a certificate to all the students. And actually, I would like to tell now that Maureen is the one, the credit goes to Maureen because she is the one put the initiative and brought the students over here. And the students were so nice. They stayed in my house and they ate the food I gave them. And once in a while, I took them out to nice restaurants. And so they made them to sit in the car, police car, and they said, play with the car, do whatever you want. But they wouldn't allow them to drive because they didn't have driver's license.
Yeah.
So they were, some of the buttons, a push button, and then the light goes on. All this they tried all this thing. They enjoyed it, and it was a good. The 3 trips were very productive for the students.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So, if I'm sure Maureen is watching this interview of yours. If she's watching, Maureen, you did a great job. Thanks so much for doing that. And just to let you know, the Chanwa students were eagerly wanting to speak to you. Also, I think they are also watching this interview. So, yeah, yeah. You want to say something to those boys, the Chanwa boys?
Now, all I want to say is they are very exemplary mannered students. Very polite, very nice. They never even raise their voice. and they talk very nicely, very politely. And I think Malaysian students, based on this, I can judge all the Malaysian students, high school students, are well mannered, and they are very good.
Very nice. Thank you so much for saying that, because and I think that something that I learned from this journey, right, this exchange program, so to speak, is where, yeah, if you are from Malaysia, and if you think that you want to do something differently, there's always a pathway to go somewhere else. Like these boys from a Chinese school, conforming school here in Malaysia, they were able to go to the US. And I know what are the difficulties they went through when they were applying for a visa. And yet, after all those challenges, right, the amount of fundraising that they did, the amount of talking that they did, the approval process, everything else. When I found out that they were able to leave Malaysia to US, that was very blissful moment for me and even for Maureen, because she was able to bring these guys there. So this is it. If you really dream of wanting to do something, just put your mind to it and then work very hard. It doesn't come easy, but if you work very hard, the channel will be open. And you just said that very nicely, Prince. Uh, from nowhere, Maureen came. From nowhere, you, Prince Victor, came. And then these boys got connected. They were there. And every time when they speak about their journey there, they always speak about how you were so father figure taking care of them, and it was so happy for them that you took care of them just like another adult. So thank you so much, Prince, for doing that, and thank you so much for sharing with us about your experience as a volunteer police force.
Thank you very much for telling all these things. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you for giving me an opportunity to appear in your program, in your
Yeah.
show.
Thank you so much, Prince. You know, the reason why I wanted you to be in my program, in my show, is because you have got so much of experience. I still remember some of our conversation that you spoke about, where it is not about IT or information technology, it's about data processing, how it all started as data processing and then it evolved itself. And so much more that I learned from you, Prince. And this is the thing. Every time when I want to speak to you, you're always there sharing without thinking twice. That's the beauty. And I thought this man needs to be featured in my show. And there I got you. So we were wanting to do this when you were in San Francisco. But somehow the universe wanted you to be in San Diego with your family members. I wish you happy Thanksgiving, and my regards, my love to all your family members there. And hopefully everything will be okay, and we should meet face to face very soon. If not in Malaysia, we will be there in San Francisco, Prince.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. You take care, Prince. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So there you go, guys. Prince Victor, the man all the way from San Diego. Originally, he's from San Francisco. And he spoke so nicely. Yeah? And the beauty is this, how he spoke about him with this age of his, still able to do what he likes most. That's what we need to learn, if not anything else. The very fine gesture of him wanting to do the voluntary police work despite his age. So, what are you waiting for? What is your passion? What's your dream? What do you want to do in life? Look around and start doing what you like most, and live your life to the fullest. So, like what Maureen's message here very nicely said, with God, everything is possible. Yes, with God, everything is possible. Put your effort, and you will see light at the end of the tunnel. So, and I see a lot of viewers here giving comments after comments. Very quickly, let me read. Lim Wee Tim says hi to everyone. Dennis Ong is saying hello. Doreen gave a nice Psalm 92 phrase. Rajuin is saying hi there, everyone. Dr. Lau Binting is also saying hi. Uh, Maureen, you just saw just now, and we have got Joseph Rajasiran who says, "Sure, Prince Anand is great." Yes, indeed, you are so right, Joseph. He is a great man. And Susan, who says, "Good evening, everyone." Susan, it's her 21st wedding anniversary. So, Susan, happy wedding anniversary. Wish you all the best. Now, we spoke to this man from USA. Now, we shall speak to someone from here, Malaysia, and Grace Sabita, a fine lady. This is what happened. I was in a cafe with my mask on, I think. And then she just walked in and she started introducing herself, and she recognized me from the Waran Shanmugam show. And then we had a quick chat, and then we exchanged numbers. Then we had a nice chaya, yeah, a coffee, and we spoke and spoke and spoke. I was so into the sharings of hers, the experience, the knowledge that she has. Amazing, fine lady. She's a journalist, Malay Mail Online, and she's also a volunteer guide with the Museum Negara, Malaysia. So I thought I need to feature her here in the Waran Shanmugam show. So she is here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Anne Grace Savita. Hey there, Anne.
Hi, Warren.
How
How
are
are
you doing?
you?
I'm good.
I'm
I'm good. How are you doing?
okay. I'm okay, Warren.
Good, good, good. How was the day?
The day was okay. It was slightly busier than usual. I had a lot of phone calls, a lot of interviews to make. So midweek, I guess it's a little bit busier lah than starting of the week or end of the week. So yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. So it's nice. It's nice. It's very nice to see you in my show. Thanks so much for appearing. I know your schedule is busy because you're a journalist. So now the question is this: everybody was very excited, when I sent this poster, right? When they saw a journalist coming by, it's something that we always wanting to know. They have got loads of questions that they already sent to me. But I want to ask you this: how exciting is your job as a journalist? And tell us, tell us.
Okay, so I'm not a journalist who's working with the hard news or the breaking news, so my life is not as hectic as you imagine I would be. I'm working with the
Okay.
lifestyle and entertainment. Since my internship days, I was very interested in lifestyle, in entertainment beat, and even when I worked in Malay Mail, I applied for that and I got it. And so mostly what I do is culture-based articles, performances that are happening, in the Temple of Fine Arts. Then last year during the 2020, when we were struck by the pandemic, a lot of organizations were helping one another, the Kita Jaga Kita movement. And so I wrote a lot of those articles because people were in distress at that moment. And there's nothing more enlightening to know that people are helping one another during those tired times, right? And so it was so nice writing about these organizations because when one organization started to help, others started coming by as well, and they were all very thankful to be also featured, and I think that was also life-giving to write about them lah. Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. So now you spoke about you doing some internship and all that, but how did you actually ended up being a journalist?
Okay, so firstly, after I finished my internship, I was with the Star. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to be a writer, and I didn't want to become a journalist at that point. It was 2018, so I just applied to many companies, and there was a few that sort of received and wanted me to work, but I wanted to work in a writing company, right? So I worked with this company called GTI. We did a lot of publications for the Singapore market for students who are transitioning between university to the working life, or to students who are in their polytechnic going to their degree life. So we wrote a lot of research based articles for students in Singapore. And then after a year, I realized it was nice, but I wanted a change. And so I thought I kind of actually missed writing lifestyle and entertainment, and I wanted to go back into that beat, right? So I just, randomly applied to the generic email of the editor of Malay Mail. And the thing was, on that day, I remember it was on a Wednesday, I applied. I sent in my resume and to the editor in charge, lah, right? No specific person or email, just the
Okay.
generic email. And I received an email from my editor. She was like, "Okay, are you free for an interview today?" And I was like, no, I am not prepared. I don't think I'm free today. Then she said, "Okay, you come next Wednesday." And so next Wednesday was my interview. And I was like, "Oh my god, okay." So I I didn't know what to expect, lah, right? So she
Yeah.
asked me a few questions, blah blah blah, and then after that, she proceeded to the written test. No, the written test was much later. Sorry, she was just asking me questions about what I did, and she was also like sort of impressed because I was with the Star, and she was also a former Star editor.
Ah.
So that was a common ground as well. Yeah, and then after that, I sort of liked the environment. Then I proceeded to the writing interview. That was, I think, a few weeks or almost a month later, and then after that, I secured the job lah.
Ah, nice, very nice. I mean, in Malay they say "bulan bintang cerah," everything will be okay lah. So that's how I think everything became a
Everything
reality.
fell into place.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Yeah, it's interesting. So, and this is the question. So, when you
Mm.
spoke about you being a journalist, have you ever dreamt of becoming a journalist? Is that something that you liked? Because a lot of times, right, people, young ones, always, I don't know whether they are into this journalism thingy. What happened? What was it something that you liked, or because it was a fluke shot, so you took on?
I honestly didn't dream of becoming one. I didn't dream of becoming a journalist. I mean, I like the idea of writing and becoming a writer, but becoming a journalist is a different thing, right? Because it's the deadline, it's having a byline there in the open, and people are going to read and condemn your work or praise your work. But I think it just happened in the sense that I just applied to Malay Mail, and soon I it was last year and I got the job. It's that it has been 2 years already, and I like the job actually because it's not as stressful as hard news. When you have to, when journalists working with the hard news, they have to go to parliament. They have to cover politicians and all that. It's very stressful because you've got a deadline. You're competing with other news portals. For
Yeah.
me, mine is much more relaxed because it's lifestyle, right? Of course, I've got
Mm.
my own deadline as well,
Okay.
but it is fun. It's sort of very interesting, and it really wants me to get up every day and to continuously ask someone about their passion, their interests, that kind of a thing. And I'm not like afraid to ask them. I just want to delve deeper into their work because it's
Okay.
something that the world needs to see. you know
Okay. Okay. So are
yeah.
you planning to go into the other part of journalism, the hard news?
I am not so sure yet, Warren, because I think I need to be mentally prepared for that. I'm not too sure.
That would be nice,
Yeah,
wouldn't it? Yeah.
that would be, I don't think I would have a life like normal, but I think the benefits would be, I would, I mean, people can see more on my bylines, and I'll be doing more hard pressing news lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so so in this column, right, lifestyles, what are
Mm.
your some of the stories that you have written?
Okay, one of the things that I really wanted to bring into lifestyle was because it's lifestyle and entertainment, right? So
Okay.
lifestyle is anything inspiring, feature profiles. Entertainment is mostly covering shows or concerts, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. So in lifestyle, I like to do a lot of articles on the festive seasons and
Mhm.
culture. So like last year, I did one on Chap Gome, and then towards Christmas, the Portuguese settlement is a big hype in Malacca. I wrote about that, although I didn't go to Malacca, but it
Huh?
was nice talking to one of the senior citizens and one of the long timers in Malacca about how they celebrate Christmas in the Portuguese settlement. And I got to know about how their recipes they made, and how it's such a communal and a very family kind of activity for them as well.
Mhm.
And also, I also interviewed Sita player Samuel Das, who is
Wow.
one of the few Sita players in the country. And it was so nice just going to his center, Swara Academy, and just hearing him play the Sita and then interviewing after that, and knowing that he's got so much of passion for just one instrument, and he's been
Yeah.
playing it his whole entire life. And I'm just wondering, wow, he's just so good at it. He's focused his whole life on it.
Yeah.
And I was also very inspired lah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, I'm sure, right? Yeah. So these
Yeah.
are all kind of, so you tend to meet a lot of people, you go to places and things like that. So you spoke about Portuguese settlement, and then you spoke about the Christmas do thingy that you wrote. And you also said that you didn't go there. So the question is this: how do you so journalism have changed so much? Yeah, you are talking about online Malay Mail. Those days it was like all written and all that. How is it different? You doing it online and also the conventional type.
Okay, so the conventional type when I was doing my internship with the Star, was all in print. There's print and online. So we had
Okay.
to be at work every day, just like the other journalists, because they have to actually liaise with the graphic designers about the kind of layout they wanted. Then they had to go through the editor because whatever that's on print needs to be perfect, lah, right? Because if
Yeah.
anybody wants to read your article and see that there's an error there, you cannot edit it like if it's online, right?
Okay.
So there's a lot of proofreading layers that had to be done. But when I went to Malay Mail online, because Malay Mail print has been discontinued since 2018, so everything is online. And whenever there's a mistake or what, it's easier to edit it out. Of course, people can take screenshots, right? But if let's say an editor sees an error after the news has been published, there's always a chance to edit it and correct
Ah,
it in that sense. So there's space for correction and lesser error, and you know gives lesser room for people to sort of charge you lah, as a
yeah,
journalist
yeah.
can.
Correct, correct.
And
So
because it's all
go ahead.
online, so
Mhm.
because it's all online, you can work from wherever and whenever, and there is no need for you to be at an office, and that's one of the benefits of it lah.
Nice, nice. So, you spoke about accuracy also. How do you make sure that whatever that you write is factual? It's correct. How do you keep that?
Okay, one of the things that I like some of the few important things that I need to make sure is accurate is the name of the people, and not just
Okay.
the name but the spelling of them. There
Mm.
were once or twice when I first started working, I made mistakes with the name and I had to correct it. But eventually, over time, I was sort of more meticulous with that, and also with the kind of facts they were saying. If I wasn't sure and I felt like something is a bit not right, I have to confirm with the interviewees about it, and I
Mm-hmm.
cannot just assume that whatever that they're saying is right. I need to confirm with certain facts lah, and yeah.
Okay. So you write a piece. Then what happens?
I write a piece and then my
Process.
editor will check. She's the
Ah.
editor, so she checks it. She content edits, she proofreads, make sure that it all makes sense. If
Okay.
there's a line or a paragraph that doesn't make sense, she'll call me and tell me, okay, and what do you mean by this? This needs a bit of clarification. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, okay. Actually, I meant this, and it's just like, okay. Then she would either edit it, or if she needs me to edit it, then I would edit it before I send it back to her. So she
Okay.
proofreads, she content edits everything, and then once it's ready to go, then she would just publish it online lah.
Okay. So she is the one who publishes it online.
She does, yeah. She has the
Okay.
power to
So
do it.
so once she publish it, then we people can just log in to read the story, like the article.
Correct. But she has to send it to a sub editor first, if I'm not mistaken, to just
Okay.
ensure that the pictures, the alignment is all correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sub editor, I think it's the sub editor who would publish it, not the editor. Yeah.
Okay. So the question is this, and I'm laughing because I want to know your feeling, and so when it appears right on screen online, how is always your feeling would be like you reading your article. How's the feeling like? I mean, I'm getting excited to see like my article is there. Everybody's reading it. How is your feeling always?
Okay, honestly speaking, when I first started and when I first saw my article online, it was a big thing. I think I was like, oh my God, my name is out there.
Yeah, right.
It was a real big thing, I think, for the first few months, but now I think it has slowly sort of dissipated that kind of joy, enthusiasm. But I'm still excited about it. I am, especially when I write long feature stories and especially stories that are very difficult for
Mm.
me to write. Then I would feel really happy that it has been published and everything is good lah. Yeah.
Okay, nice. You spoke about difficult article that you have written. Let's hang in there. And I want I want you to read some of these comments. I'm getting loads of comments. All your
Okay.
fans here. I need you to see this. Let's see. Where do we go? Yeah. Okay. I don't know whether you know Mohan. Mohan. He says amazing. And then you have got Professor Madhya Has, Dr. Angeline, Ranjida Mani, R. Vijay Raju says hi, Anne. I'm sure you know her.
She's my mom actually.
Ah, nice. Hi, Prof. Nice to have you here. Then we have got Dennis Ong here and Grace. Love your articles for the Malay Mail. Thank you, Warren, for having her. Thank you so much, Dennis, for commenting. You know Dennis, I'm sure.
Yeah, Dennis is my very good friend.
Perfect, perfect.
And he's
Shangri,
also a museum volunteer with me as well in Museum Negara.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, you are
yes.
doing a good job, Dennis, together with Anne. Shankari Krishna says hi, good evening to all. And Sita Lachmi Krishnayar saying hello all.
Hello, Auntie Sita.
There you go. Rajwin is saying amazing Warren and Anne. Abhirami Anand is saying Anne Grace Savida Ifuyo.
She's my childhood friend, Abi.
Nice, nice. So we have got Charmaine Chia. So proud of you, Anne.
Charmaine is also my childhood friend, also my school friend.
I see. We are so proud of her also, Charmaine. Satyavani Madhavan says Anne's article on furry kids, Safe Haven Shelter helped to bring in donations. We are grateful to her. She is an animal lover.
Hi, Auntie
Satyavani.
Satya. Thank you, Auntie. Pleasure to have written on Furry Kids.
That's nice. That's nice. Dato Professor Dr. Mizan Hitam,
Wow.
congrats and still remember you as one of the student leader who participated in Parliament Mahasiswa. Tanya, keep it up. You are multi-talented. Keep on writing. Educate the people opinion. So very nice. Tell us about Dato Professor.
Okay, so actually, I met Dr. Mizan in this Parliament Mahasiswa, which I joined when I was in my university. It was this
Okay.
Parliament Mahasiswa thing where they sort of selected few students from universities, and we all had to debate or I think discuss an issue in Parliament. We were all given that opportunity to actually go to Parliament, but of course our names were written there, and the names of the real politicians were taken out for a while. And yeah, and I think I asked the question, and I think Professor Dr. Mizan saw, and he was, yeah, he was excited lah because he knew my mom, and I also
Nice.
knew him.
There
Yeah, it
you
was a
go.
nice experience in Parliament lah. Yeah,
Nice. Thanks,
yeah.
Dato, for joining. Dr. Isha Das Gupta says hi and great experience and work.
Hi, Dr. Isha. Thank you for joining the session.
Very nice. And then you have got Sita Lishmi Krishnaya says, and Grace has such a passion for what she does. Yes, definitely you can see her writing and the way she speaks about what she does. Amazing. Passionate is the word. And of course, your mom is saying a good show showcasing people who have done much, contributed to the well-being of our young people, Mr. Prince Maureen. And yes, thank you so much, Mami, because it's and that's what we want to do here. We want to make sure that we showcase people like Anne and many other people out there who have done so many things in their own ways. And this is beautiful, and I say this is because everyone have done a lot of things, but it is when I ask them, right, hey, this is something that you have done, it's a great deal for them. It's like, hey, I just did whatever that I could do, and that's all that is needed. You just have to do whatever that you could do, and you will save a life. If you could save one life, I think blessing, right?
Yes, Warren. And I think I knew for a long time that I always liked writing, but I was also a bit afraid to join in this field because it wasn't something that it was looked up upon, especially in a society where a profession like maybe a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or a much professional job would be looked up, right? As a journalist, as a writer, I mean, it is okay, but it is not something that one would give a lot of attention to. But I still loved writing, and I couldn't detach myself from it, Warren. And now I look
Nice.
back, I'm happy I made that decision, because I know I'm a different entity from everyone else. And when you know you are different, you would go along to that path that you like. And it doesn't matter what other people choose. You choose what you want to do. You follow your heart. And that is
Nice.
much more important, I feel.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely, very nicely said. So you spoke about articles, some of the writings that you have done, probably very difficult ones. Share with us your experience. Difficult ones. How
Okay.
difficult was difficult?
All right. So one difficult article that I had to do was about this artist who
Uh-huh.
ventured into the NFT line. So the non-fungible token, and how she sold an artwork. She sold an
Uh-huh.
artwork, an NFT artwork, you call it, and she had Mike Shinoda, which is the member of Linkin Park, who
Okay.
actually bought her artwork. And when I
Ah,
first saw that whole story pitch that came to my email, I was like, "What is NFT? What is cryptocurrency? I don't know anything about it, right?" And I was like, oh my god, I'm actually quite doomed. And so I decided, okay, you know what, it's okay. I can always read up about it. And so what I did was I read up a lot about NFT, cryptocurrencies, and how did how would people sell it online. And I also told myself that I needed to ask the interviewee. I think her name is Munira Hamza from KL.
Okay.
Whatever doubts that I didn't know about NFT, I just asked her because she was telling me so many things about NFT during the interview, and I was like, oh my god, how do I tell her that I don't understand? So I said,
Mm.
it's fine, okay. I jotted down whatever I didn't understand. Like she was telling me stuff about clean NFT and about seed phrases, passwords that you need to have, secondary market, primary market, and I'm like, what is this? So I said, never mind. I looked it up, and I still didn't understand, and that was when I sent her an email. I said, Munira, when you say clean NFTs, do you mean this? And when you say primary market, do you mean this? I had to look up what it meant and I clarified with her before I actually asked her the interview questions.
That must have been like some writing, yeah.
Yeah, that was really, really really took a toll on me because I had to really look up NFTs because I had no experience in it and I didn't have anyone close in my circle who knew what NFTs were all about.
So this is the thing, and when you are writing this type of piece, right? How
Mm.
do you feel? I'm sure at one point, or rather, you did not. Do you at one point felt that this is too much or it's too difficult? I don't know whether I can do it. Did you go through that phase?
I think Warren, it's something which I have gone through and I think I will go through as well because there are times when my editor will just tell me, okay, Anne, I need you to cover this. You just have to go and cover this article, this
Hmm.
story, I mean. And I had to figure out what it was. Like there was once where I had to, I think it was one of the malls in Klang Valley. They had this sort of system where they would turn food waste into fertilizers
Ah.
and I had to cover the story the next day. That means the next day I had to go to what was this mall? I think it was One Utama,
Okay.
and I was like, oh my god, what is this all about? And so I read up, and made sure I read up. And even when I went to interview the, I think it was the chairman or what of One Utama, I asked him all the questions I could. I even had a private session with him after the reporters went away just to clarify with him. But it was great because they also showed the reporters what they meant by a recycling center. So we actually saw it like live. So
Uh-huh.
we had an idea, these are the garbage from these are the food waste from all the restaurants and how they would convert it to a fertilizer, and they showed us the whole process. It was like a mini factory in One Utama, and that was how I had an idea of what they meant.
Gosh.
Yeah, but
So
if I would to, I mean, this was an example which I was lucky because they had a live demonstration for me to see, right, what was happening. But
yeah.
if I were to not understand something so technical like NFTs, I
Yeah,
just would
exactly,
have to
right?
call the interviewees and just, I mean, in whatever capacity that I didn't know, I just had to continuously ask them lah to clarify.
Yeah, so whether it's hard news or your type of lifestyle and entertainment, right? You still have got due days. Now you still will go through stress because of the time frame that you have. You don't have like the whole month or so, but you still have to do it. How do you manage stress?
How do I manage stress? Okay, if let's say I have a long feature article that I have to finish in like 2 or 3 days, I would sometimes work through the night or work
Okay,
early morning. And if let's say right now, email interviews, because I do either face to face, email, or phone interviews.
okay,
If I were to send an email to an interviewee or to an interviewer, right? And if they were to tell me that they can only get back to that email in like 2 3 days time because they are so busy, I would tell
yeah,
them, okay, you know what? Can I call you instead? I'll make sure I won't be long. I will ask you all the questions. It won't take more than 20 minutes. And then
okay,
they would be like, oh, okay, 20 minutes. Sure, can lah. And that is how I make. I then and of course I have got a call recorder and I also have a shorthand. I make sure I write down whatever they are saying. And so whenever they're telling me something, I'm writing lah. On the other hand, yeah,
mm,
just to
yeah.
save time because if I wait for an email, it might take a lot of time.
Yeah, so nicely said. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, whoever watching now, you have got Anne Grace Savita here. She's a journalist, Malay Mail Online. She's also a volunteer guide at Museum Negara Malaysia. Yeah, and she's talking about something very interesting: journalism itself. How interesting that can be. Yeah, and something that she also shared just now when I asked her the question about stress. Yeah, and you said it very nicely. Yeah, it's when you don't want stress to happen, you need to make sure that it is there in place. How do you do it? It takes two ways. Yeah? One is you ask and you wait, or you ask and you ask and you ask again. So how do you make sure that there is a conversation? How do you make a deal so that whoever you are interviewing, you get the information at the right time so that your due date can be achieved? Is something that you need to work on. And it's all about time management. It's all about managing your space. How do you do things? How do you have a conversation, and all that? And thank you so much for that. And I've got this question. We see
Yes,
things
Warren.
differently. We are the readers. You guys, the journalists, and I'm sorry I'm using the word you guys here, and you should be proud of that. You guys, right, journalists, look at things differently. I don't know what you guys see. Tell us, what's your view? What's the mind eye that you have? What do you capture? What do you see that we do not?
I think fundamentally in all the sort of stories that I see, I think I'm just like any other reader. Is the first thing that would make me interested in a story is of course the first line, the lead paragraph and the headlines, right? And for
Okay.
me, I always try to put myself in the eyes of a reader,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll always look at the most interesting thing that an interviewee has told me. Okay, they can tell me a story for like 20, 25 minutes, and if let's say the next interesting thing comes in the 26th minute, that would be my lead paragraph, that would be my starting point, because it is so interesting to me. It will also, I have the assumption that if something is so interesting to me, I am sure it is also interesting to other readers as well, you know.
Okay.
And that is how I would go about it lah.
So you put yourself into a reader's shoes, lah.
Yes, I have to put myself into a reader's shoes, correct. And
Okay.
also I think I have to read a lot of articles as well, lifestyle based articles, to see how other writers write and what are their introductory paragraphs to attract readers to read, and what are the
Mhm.
sort of angle that they take so that readers would want to read. That it's not some boring technical article. It has a lot of depth, and it's something light-hearted that they want to take a break from hard news to read something that nourishes their soul lah, kind of a
Okay.
thing.
Nice, nice, nice. And I'm laughing because I'm reading at the messages. So so I'll show you shortly. But this is the thing. I wanted to ask you something. It's about, okay. So what's the next story? What's the next in line? What are you writing? What are you doing
Okay,
now?
I'm actually going to write a few Christmas stories since Christmas is
Ah,
very, very near.
nice.
And I've also got a story about okay, maybe I should not tell this. Okay,
Okay,
it's
okay.
something unique with Negeri Sembilan lah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's something traditional. So that would be hopefully by next week or the week after, and also some Christmas stories that I would also be scouting for.
So
Yeah,
so where can they read this?
it's all in Malay Mail online in the website.
What's
Yeah,
the URL?
it's just Malay Mail online, Warren, and then it's
Okay,
under
good.
lifestyle. So
Okay.
yeah. Mm.
So Malay Mail online under lifestyle and entertainment. You go there, you will see this name, Anne Grace Savita. You see that, you better read because that will be her writing. Yeah. So Anne, I have got. I want to ask about museum, but before
Mm.
that, I want to ask you. There
Yeah.
are now young ones who may want to become a journalist. I don't know whether it will be an exciting job or not. I also have got some people who wants to write, but they are always of this fear, yeah, that
Mm.
whether my writing will be of a particular standard. How do I improve myself if I'm a young kid who wants to venture into, because I don't know what to venture into? Mom, dad always says doctor, accountancy, a
Mm.
lawyer, and the list goes on, yeah. But journalism is something very exciting, very interesting. You can write about yourself, and you are talking about how you are passionate about what you're writing. So how do you make sure that a teen or someone who's young, who wants to join journalism, what would be something that they should learn, and how do you encourage these young ones?
Okay, I think there's no rule, Warren, as to how to get into journalism. I think it comes if, let's say, you like writing,
Mm,
apply to news portals to get an internship there, right? And see what sort of beat you like. Do you like lifestyle? Do you like sports? Do you like hard news? And then straight away apply to the kind of news portals that you like, write to an editor and try to get an internship there, because an internship will only sort of show you whether you would want to do this long term or not. right? Like for me, when I did my internship with the Star under lifestyle entertainment, I knew that I could do lifestyle entertainment, and I sort of liked it. That was why I applied to Malay Mail online, right?
Nice.
So to all these youngsters, I think apart from writing to internship companies, right? Do your own writing, do your own blog. I mean, you don't
Mm,
need to wait for an internship opportunity for you to start writing. You have an Instagram account, great. Start writing, start documenting the things around you. You've got a blog, great. Start writing about, let's say you like food, do food reviews for free or what, you know. You don't need to wait for an opportunity to come. You
mm.
start writing because you never know who's going to read your articles, who's going to read your writing and tell you, hey, this is what I read, you wrote this, you know, it was so thought provoking, it was so meaningful, I really like it. And you never know where you might end up next. So to anyone who loves writing, just write every day. Write. If it's not good, it doesn't matter. You get feedback and then you improve and then you go on to the next thing. There's no such thing as, okay, I'm gonna wait for, like, you know, this company to get back to me and then really I'm gonna start writing. You know, no. You do
Nice.
your writing every day, and that is how you become a good writer.
Perfect. Very nice. Very nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, especially the young ones, do not wait. Start
Yeah,
writing
don't
now.
wait.
Start writing now. Yeah, don't wait.
Yes.
So, Museum Negara Volunteer Guide. Share a little bit. What
Yes.
is that?
Okay, I've always been interested in the idea of history and becoming like a volunteer in Museum Negara. This was something that I sort of liked for a while, but I wasn't sure of the program in Museum Negara. And in 2019, when I was working in KL, I decided to sign up for this program. You know, just simply signed up, see where it would, you know, land me. And eventually, I decided to continue this program in 2019, join sessions where the Museum Negara volunteers would invite speakers, lecturers in the field of history, archaeologists, you know, culture enthusiast people to come and giving their insights on the kind of culture that they had. So I remember once there was this guy, this Baba guy from Laka who was very well versed in the Peranakan culture and so many others lah, right? And then I realized that actually there are so many things about my country's history that I don't know. And it hit me that I needed to actually learn about it. And eventually 20 then to become a volunteer guide, you need to pass a few oral tests and presentations. And I had a mentor with me, and I passed all of that, and recently I just graduated, so I've got my license to become a museum volunteer. And I think there is still a lot of things that I need to learn, and I'm still learning about the museum. So essentially, a guide gives you that green light to take in people for free in Museum Negara, and it's usually the four main galleries in the National Museum lah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting. The way you speak itself shows how you are very much into this museum Nagara thing. Yeah. Well, we wish you well. Hopefully, once everything is all ready and available, you will have more fun, and then the next time around, we can share with us about what you have been doing. Jordan is with us backstage. But before I invite Jordan to the studio, let me quickly read some of the messages that I got. Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
Farin.
all right, let's see. Dato Professor, yes, correct. So we have got, yeah, your mom saying, Dato Professor Dr. Mirza is another amazing person. Yes, thanks for inspiring my daughter. And also, Mommy says this is a good show. Congratulations, Warren. Keep going. Thank you so much, Mommy. And then we have got Lydia Kolako says, hi, Anne. Thanks for the interesting sharing.
Hi, Lydia.
And then you've got Dr. Aisha says, you are so natural and expressive, and that is really fascinating about you. Yes, she is expressive. Lydia also says, haha, like the part where you said, you know, you are different from everybody else, can relate to it so well. Yeah. Nicely said, Lydia. Susan is saying, and you are rocking. Yes, indeed, rocking. Keep rocking.
Thank you, Susan.
And then you have got your mom saying, thanks, Professor Esha and Lydia. And also Sarada says, love your enthusiasm and your drive and grace. Indeed. And this is the thing. We want to bless you. When I say we, means myself together with a bunch of viewers who are watching, with more success to come, and hopefully you will be finding only joy in everything that you do. What is the one message that you want to share to the supporters before I bring in Jordan Tan?
Just do what you love to do, and it doesn't matter if people think it's not good enough. If you think it's good, you just do it, and you don't care about other people. You follow your heart, and just do what makes you happy. That's it. Yeah, I always
That
believe
is
in that.
that is Anne Grace Savita, ladies and gentlemen, journalist, Malay Mail Online, Museum Negara volunteer guide. Now let's bring in Jordan. Jordan, are you ready, Jordan?
Yeah, I'm
Hi,
ready.
how are you doing?
I'm good after getting two inspiring people to share their life experiences.
Yes, then we have got yet another inspiring person who is going to share with us inspiring stories. Jordan, meet Anne and meet Jordan.
Hi,
Hi.
Jordan.
Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, Jordan.
Hi.
You guys want to ask anything? Jordan, do you have anything to ask Anne with regards to journalism?
Yeah, I know where to look for her in the Millennial Online.
Yes, yes. You know where to look for me.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah. And do you have anything that you want to ask Jordan? Jordan is amazing guy. You'll be listening to him talk about prenatal psychology in a bit.
Okay,
But you want to ask.
I think I just want to listen to his talk because I'm quite interested by psychology and what he has to share.
All
Yes, I
right,
am.
fantastic. Very nice. So, and once again, thank you so much.
Thank you,
And we
Warren.
shall see you soon.
Okay, thanks, Warren.
All right, take care. Take care. So, Jordan, how are you doing? How are things with you?
I'm excited to share what I have been waiting for this opportunity.
Indeed, indeed. So I want to share with everyone this piece before I speak to you, Jordan. Yeah, and it's very interesting. Let me share this screen. And it says this: prenatal foundation for human greatness. An unborn child's health, beauty, learning, capability, emotional stability, self esteem, social skills, and life's coping talents are all firmly rooted before and after conception. Pregnancy is a 9 months window of opportunity to prepare a newly conceived soul for greatness. Learn the art and science of prenatal investment. Almost all child prodigies have such a foundation before birth. That's what Jordan says. And he also says 9 months in the womb's classroom is more significant than whatever exposure a child receives after birth. So that's the contact details which we will be sharing with you shortly. But my question is this, Jordan: 9 months in the womb's classroom is more significant. Now, what's this 9 months in the womb's classroom that you are talking about?
Okay, number one, human beings are conceived out of a sperm and an egg. And as young as I think maybe 3 weeks, the baby's first sense of hearing actually is his ability to listen. Uh, from the day he was conceived and old enough to learn how to communicate with the outside world. Now, a child in the womb, they have not any opinion, prejudice, preference, and fear and phobia. You know, they are just a blank page, just absorb and absorb what is happening in the outside world. Now, so the best time to learn for a child to learn is actually in the womb. And for example, you know, whether a child's teeth after they are about 11, 12 years old going to be crooked or not depends on the nutrition of what the parents eat. You know, if the parent is careless or take medication that destroy their DNA and RNA, the genes, then they were born without limbs and leg, which I think you may have remembered the tragedy about half a century ago on thalidomide. You know, people who are born without limbs, without hand and leg. So this is an
Mhm.
extreme example. But the not so tragic consequences of not having a well-nourished fetus in the womb is, you know, the baby becomes sick. You know, if the baby is not being loved, they become rejected from the time they are conscious of the conversation that happens between the parents and also the outside world. And I like to give you a broad statement that China has been able to rise up to be a superpower in the last 40 years is because the Chinese culture has got this prenatal psychology, which is very much in their culture. They call it the womb education, and the Chinese, just like the Jew, they also have understanding of prenatal psychology. For example, I've studied that the Jews as a race, they have been practicing prenatal psychology. That's why from the year 1900 until about 2020, there were about 23% of the Jews, they were all Nobel Prize winner in the various field of industry. Now, so this is a demonstration of how a child's investment in talking to them, in giving them music, in giving them assurance that they are being loved, they are being wanted, makes a difference after a child is born. Now,
Okay, so
I just give you one example
go ahead.
of these child prodigies called Sobono Isaac Bari. He's a Bangladeshi American. And at 9 years old, he's already doing lecturing, in all the famous university. Where is the beginning of this child's learning? Actually, it's in the womb. He didn't go to any school, but he already picked out a lot of things from he was young. Yeah, so that is my basis of saying that the womb is the best place to invest for a child. You want that promise to be emotionally stable and intellectually able and advanced.
Interesting,
Yes.
interesting, Jordan. And I want to know more, and I'm sure viewers are also waiting. Let's go to the very basic. What is prenatal psychology, Jordan, for the viewers out there?
Okay, let me start off with the first sense the baby develop actually is the ability to listen. When a baby has got ability to listen, they collect information, they store data, they interpret information that they have picked up, whether from music, from science, or what. Now, let me give you an example of a Malaysian story of how important is prenatal psychology or education. There was this couple from Penang called Krishna Aruna Salam, and the mother is Mundianma Kandasamy. Both are age 70. They were
Okay.
all teachers, and when both of them goes to work, when the mother is pregnant, the baby also goes to the classroom for 9 months. From conception. And these all the 5 children all attended, the class, whatever the mother is teaching, And of course, when the father and mother are both teacher, they talk a lot about the classroom experience, about the days and so on. So the children listen to the conversation of the parents, as well as during the working hour when when the mother was in the classroom. Now, according to my expert called Tony Buzan, he says that the human baby that has been exposed to, talked to, they have got about 30,000 words vocabulary compared to a child who is not exposed, not given attention. For example, a child who is born in a village, both parents goes to the field and work. And what do they do all day? They stare at the ceiling. Unless you got
Yeah.
siblings, who are younger and begins to talk to them, communicate with them. And this is where exposure is so important. Now, what happened is to this couple who are both teachers, the children, turn out to be very successful in their career. Let me read you to the story because of their head start in the womb. All the 5 children are basically medical specialists. Dr. Sarawanan is a cardiologist. The second son is Sudhaga, is an orthopedic surgeon. And the older of the two, Dr. Soti, is also popularly known. And the sister is Jajiswari, is a radiologist. And Kastori Talaka is also a doctor, a family doctor. Now, so how did all these children turn out to be so good student? It's because they were already stimulated mentally, intellectually while they were in the womb, even before they are born, before even the kindergarten. They were exposed to words and they understand English because this is how they pick up, when they were in the womb.
You spoke about this. What are the other factors that influences prenatal development, Jordan?
Basically, the human baby develop from two sets of cells, the father and mother's sperm and the egg, right? And how does a baby grow? With all the organs, as they grow, as the day passes by, they develop. First is their brain, then the other organ, the heart, the leg, eventually the whole body. Now, all these development, the growth in their organs and all these, it takes a lot of nutrition. For example, if I just give you an analogy. For example, if you have got a typewriter and the keys are faulty, for example, you in your keyboard you have got 26 letter plus the numbers plus the semicolon plus all the other side. If the one of your keyboard is missing, for example, your A is missing, and then you got problem, writing a story or writing an article, you see.
Yeah.
But if the nutrition that the human needs is about 90 minerals plus trace element plus enzyme plus vitamins are all in place in the mother's womb, the mother will be able to supply all the nutrient required as a baby grows. You see, that's why the baby who are who are taller, because the mother has got enough calcium and magnesium in the diet. The mother eats well. And how does a baby become emotionally stable? Is because the mother love the baby and talk to the baby, stroke the tummy of the baby and talk to the baby, play music to the baby. And the baby, as they grow up, they are being appreciated, being wanted, so they grow up to be very self-esteem.
Nice,
So
nice.
being wanted, being loved is one of the greatest need a human being needs. And so
Okay,
if
that's
they are given such thing, they'll become emotionally stable and do not have a hang up and also all kinds of fear and phobia, even before they are born.
interesting. So prenatal psychology itself sounds very mystifying, yeah, Jordan. And I want to ask you, we spoke about this backstage just now on Rabindranath Tagore. You want to speak a little bit about him and this thing that you are advocating, prenatal psychology?
After I've been interested in this prenatal psychology, that was way back in 1997 when I first read this book in the library in Tawau. It's called The Secret Life of the Unborn Child. I've been doing research and making observation. And like what Anne was saying just now, you asked a question, how do you cultivate, how do you stir up interest in a child so that they become, expert in the field in which they are interested. So one of the most satisfying example I can quote is the example of Roslina Darus. She is actually one of the Malaysians lecturer who is outstanding in maths. She is president of the Malaysian Maths Society. She is also the vice president of the ASEAN Maths Society. So way back in 2019, I met her in the University of Malaysia conference to celebrate the International Women's Day, for all the outstanding women in the field of science, maths, research, and so on. So it's a whole day conference. During the tea break, I have a chance to talk to her. I say, I'm very curious, who is the one that ignite this passion for maths for you? He said, my mother. Then I asked her, how did your mother do that? He said, oh, very simple. When I was in the womb, my mother did a lot of mental calculation, and that was how she got interested in maths, because when the mother started doing the counting, the addition and deletion and all that, the child also learned at the same time because they were in the same body. The child may have an independent circulation system, but then when the child have her own mind and own brain, they already pick up many of the things, you see. So this is why it's not difficult if you want to cultivate a child to be interested in medicine or maths. In fact, I can quote you many examples. One of my friends, he's actually is very interested in maths. He's a mathematician. And among his, I think 3 children, there was 2 boys and 1 girl. One of them is actually actuaries. Actuary is a one somebody who calculate the mortality rate table, your
Yeah.
return of investment. Very good in maths. He said, my son, inherited the passion for maths, you know, while while he was, doing a lot of this, you see. And how did the father's passion get transmitted, you see, to the baby when the womb was actually in the mother, but actually it's through conversation because the baby pick out a lot of things during the course of the day. And so his son actually went to Tar College, but online, because we don't have an actuarial science PhD course here. He did it online, and he became one of the youngest actuaries, I think at the age of 26,
Hmm.
And I can quote
Interesting.
you many more example about, how you can actually guide and train a baby. One of the
Okay,
example
so
is
you're talking about how to train, how to guide and train a baby. Yeah. So before you answer that question, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching this man here, Jordan Tan. Jordan Tan is into prenatal psychology. Yeah? He's an educator, and he speaks and advocates about prenatal workshops, education, classroom, and everything else. And interesting how he speaks about it very nicely, yeah, which is going to be very interesting and something that you might have known so far, but you really didn't put much interest to it. And he's going to share with us more. So I want to share with you these pictures before you answer that question. If you could see here, these are some of your photographs. And then you have got a story to tell about your little fella.
yeah.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
can I start here now? Okay, this is
Yes,
Joe, my
go
first
ahead.
grandson.
Yeah.
Okay, my first grandson actually was born in Japan in Shizuoka. My daughter actually is a missionary in Japan, and she was
Okay.
a student when A-level student when she first read about the secret life of the unborn child. So she's quite familiar, and she's actually a student in the health university, and eventually she graduated from the health university and take her master also in health university, and she was a lecturer in the health university before she got married and migrated to Japan. You see, so she's quite familiar with prenatal psychology. So when she was after she was conceived, she begins to talk to the boy, called Joe, and say that boy, you be a good boy, okay? Don't come too soon, so that you upset all my program. And so the boy obediently obey the mother's instruction. Actually, according to the doctor, the doctor, the boy is supposed to come on the 8th of November, But then this boy delayed, coming out until 15th of November. And what happened was this boy, at about 2:30 in the morning, the water bag burst, So my son-in-law took her to the actually it's a midwife center, because in Japan you either go to a midwife center which is certified by the Ministry of Health or to a
Mhm.
hospital. But my daughter knows that the baby is going to be normal and no need to go to the hospital, and it's also safer to be in the midwife center. So this midwife actually is a 50 years old lady, and she got about, I think, many years, 20 over years of experience of delivering babies. So when my daughter arrived there, this they look at the cervix of my daughter. He said that, the cervix is only 2 cm, and for the baby to be born naturally, it will take about 10 cm, and it's going to be takes about 16 hours of labor, before the baby will be born naturally. Because of course my daughter knows that the difference between a cesarean and also a natural birth baby, you see, and so what my daughter did was, she speaks to the baby, you see, you know, and command the baby to move and command the cervix to open, and within 2 hours everything was over. At 6:30, I was at home. I was in Japan at that time with her, to help her to do some cooking, the household call, and relieve her of many of the work that she had, the routine work, And so this boy obediently and just follow the mother instruction, and in 2 hours everything was over. So I want to help many parents who got anxiety about delivering a baby, and also what you can do, talk to the baby. But most, if you want to have let me share at this point, if you want to have a smooth delivery, especially the first baby, you must be assured that you do not have anxiety, unnecessary anxiety. For example, if the mother start thinking during her pregnancy, whether my career be affected if the baby come along, whether I my body will change shape, whether my husband will still love me because I'm out of shape, and whether my career opportunity in the workplace will be affected because I'm taking maternity leave and take my baby, to see doctor and all that, you see. And whether I can find a good babysitter, after I am delivered a baby. Now, all this anxiety is being picked up by the baby, and the baby say, oh yeah, it's so difficult for me to be delivered in this world and give my mother so many anxiety. I better don't come out so soon, So the baby will struggle, not to be delivered easily, because even for 2 minutes, delivery delayed, to the baby, to their, innocent, without any sophistication, it will be a great help to my mother, you see. So this
Wow.
is what happened to happen to a mother when you have anxiety, you see. And actually, I've helped the first-time mother after I learned about this prenatal psychology to deliver the first baby in 2 hours, I just give her the same formula that I've just shared with you a while ago, and she had
Nice, very
first baby
nice.
delivered 2 hours.
Mm. Yeah, so it's interesting, yeah. So for the parents out there, for the moms out there who are expecting, and your baby is still there, in your tummy, think about what Jordan just said, yeah. Whatever that you are feeling, whatever thoughts that it may come through you, and whatever that you're focusing on is all going into that little fella who is in your tummy. You need to be very careful as to what you're thinking, what you're focusing, what you're looking, what are you preparing for, and all that. And that's what Jordan is here to share with us. Jordan, you spoke about your workshop. Tell us a little bit about what do you do?
Basically, I was in the Toastmaster movement, many years ago, But
Okay.
now I have basically not so active in the Toastmasters uh, meeting. But I have this desire. Now, if Toastmaster can have about 15,000 club around the world, it's just by sharing how to pick up the ability to speak fluently and eloquently and convincingly in a public place,
Yeah.
we can actually set up many of these prenatal education center, in a informal way. For example, in one taman, we can have an informal chat group, and learn from one another. Let me share with you one example, my personal benefit.
Go
Even
ahead.
though I came to know about this prenatal psychology very late, by the time I came to know about this book, my first child was 12 years old, my second one was 8, my third one was 4. They don't have a much of a benefit, But then I've been doing it unconsciously. For example, I do go marketing. I cook food for my wife who is expecting, and all my children are healthy because I stay away from all the artificial food, all the processed food, you see. And all my children are healthy, they are now 36, 32, and 28. None of them need to go and see doctors, for even small things like cough and cold and all that stuff, they were all healthy because they were well looked after, they were wanted, they were appreciated, you see. And
Right.
this is the investment that you can never miss, because if you do not take care of the nutrition of the baby, you got a birth defect, it's going to cost you a bomb. It may run to hundreds of thousands. I know I got many tragic story about parents who do not take care of their nutrition during pregnancy, and they end up having a defective baby, which costs them $500,000 to get correct all the defects. So prevention, I think, is the most sensible advice for those who are planning to get pregnant and also to have a child. Which is
Yeah.
going to
So
attract scholarship and without having to worry about where the money is going to come from to educate them.
yeah, nice, very nice. So you see, he's Jordan is actually giving a lot of opportunity for you to not to waste any more money, yeah, because your child, if you were to do these things correctly, you will have a much interesting child who will take care of you rather than you take care of the child. So Jordan, this is the question that I have. You are talking about prenatal psychology, whereby before a child is born, you are able to create that pathway. My question is this: if a child is already born now, say they are in their 15, 16, or 20s, can they still be corrected? If can, what are the things that we can do or should do?
Okay, let me give you an example of the interesting things you can do to a child who is about 12, 13 years old. Now, there are about three cycles. Maybe the age is a bit out of scene now because it's an old research, you see. They say that
Mm-hmm.
the first 4 years of a child's life is called the age of intimation, meaning to say they follow what you do,
Okay.
And then from the age of about 7 to about 12, it's called the age of inspiration.
Okay.
So they will copy what you do, and they will listen to story about all the superstar in their life, and then they copy.
Uh,
And then after that, when they are above the 20, they will very much on their own, So if you can inspire the baby, the child, about 12 years old, it'd be very good. This is the age of formation. They are very flexible. They are able to adapt. And all is not lost, even though you may have a bad beginning. But then, because a human cell in the womb, they grow and multiply and mature according to the intensity of the stimulation, the quality of the stimulation, and also the frequency of the stimulation. If you do that consistently, I think the baby will pick up. They will have a head start even before they go to kindergarten. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nicely said. Jordan Tan, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you have got Jordan Tan talking to you for a good 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so, sharing with you about prenatal education, prenatal psychology. If you want to get in touch with Jordan and know more about what he just spoke, and it's interesting, yeah. These are all things. This is what I want to tell you guys. You have had many moons ago these things already available, but no one spoke to us. We didn't have the exposure. Nobody came and told us, you know what, there is this thing called prenatal psychology. But now you have got Jordan, who has got all the knowledge. He's an educator on prenatal psychology. So the best thing that you could do is call him up or send an email to him, understand what it really means and how you can improve your child's life, and at the same time improve your life. Jordan, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, that will be the phone number, that will be the email. What's the message that you want to give to those people, viewers who are watching right now?
Okay, for a start, let me show you this book. You see the book here?
Yes, sir. The Secret Life of the Unborn Child.
Now, I in contact with this Dr. Thomas Verney. He's a Canadian. He's in his 80s, and he has given me permission to print the book locally, So,
Lovely,
for those who
lovely.
want to have a start, it's a good place to start, because it gives you all the studies that have been done. That the baby is so sensitive that if the mother is a smoker and she think of smoking a cigarette, you will send a fear, down the spine of this baby. The moment you think about having a cigarette, the baby can pick up, that you
Ah,
are about to harm him, the baby. And it's all in the book actually, you know.
nice, nice.
They were actually, I read this book and in the year 1997, and I've been, the last 24 over years, I've been talking to people and also have a lot of practical knowledge, not just, not just textbook knowledge, but insight and experience about how the mother's emotion and environment affects the baby that eventually going to be delivered. You see?
Yeah,
So, there's a saying that, the only thing that you can retain something is to give it away. It's just like a doctor, if he doesn't practice his medicine, he lost a skill. You see?
yeah.
Just like a typist, if he doesn't practice his typing, he will lose a skill. You see? So
Very nice.
my job, I have the desire to produce a few 100,000 outstanding Malaysian who can build up this nation, but he has to start from the parent. If the parent take out the queue and start doing something good, eventually we have a large pool of talented Malaysian. And this prenatal psychology has got no barrier. I got the example of Maslina Darut. She's a Malay, and they say Malay is no good in maths. But look at her. She's a professor of mathematics, president of
Very,
Malaysian Society. Where did she pick from?
that's
Early
right.
stimulation, early exposure to maths. That's it. Not difficult. Yeah, but you must know the art and the science of doing it, .
Yeah,
And for that,
exactly
you
the
need to learn from somebody else. You cannot do your own discovery. It will take a long time now, So you can shorten the learning curve by reading and also keep in contact with the right person.
There
Back to
you go.
you.
And the right person is Jordan Tan, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan, thank you so much for coming by and sharing your thoughts. Jordan, thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I thank you for the opportunity to have ability to sow the seeds of greatness, because the seed of greatness actually lies in the understanding of prenatal psychology. And if you
Beautiful.
can pick up the seed and nurture the seed, water the seed, you get a plant, you see. And then from a plant, you get many more people learning the same art. So it's like what they say, if you can count the number of seed in an apple, but you cannot count the number of apple in a seed, because this will multiply,
Nice.
It's just like the virus, how it spread, So we
Yeah,
can do the
lovely.
positive viral, this information, and build up a society that is full of people who are emotionally stable and not egoistic, not prejudiced, and they are able to, like I quoted you earlier on, embrace everything but attach to nothing, because they know that we are just a passenger on this earth. We are passing through. You see?
Very
Okay,
nice.
back
Very
to
nice.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jordan. So, Jordan, two things that I will be doing. One is I will definitely going to read out that book, The Secret Life of an Unborn Child. And secondly, I will be meeting you soon face to face in near future. I'll give you a buzz so that we can sit down and chat about this on a lengthier manner. Once again, Jordan Tan, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure. I will see you when I see you next.
Thank you for having me, Warren.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye
Thank you.
bye. So
Yeah.
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Jordan Tan. Yeah. So we had Prince Victor all the way from San Francisco or San Diego just now. Then we had Anne Grace Savita, and also we had Jordan Tan speaking about prenatal psychology. And it's interesting how we had all these things available. What you need to do is just go share this link, let everybody know what is out there so that everybody can learn whatever that has been spoken about just now. So let's move on to the very finale. As usual, we had Darwin, Vahida, and also Tilak, who came from KL Kinetic. They shared at length about what they do on sports rehab, and also how they can help you in many ways. So if you want, please go meet these people. I'll give you the contact details shortly. But I've got a little snippet, a video that they have sent so that I can share with all of y'all. Watch this. I will take leave, but watch this first. And if you need their assistance, get in touch with them very soon. So, gentlemen, ladies, I shall see you. Watch this video.